Hi, and welcome to your Vinyasa practice. My name is Laura, and today we're going to be moving through a series of poses, warming up our body correctly, getting into our poses, and then cooling the body down. And today we'll need a couple of things. So I've got two blocks here. If you don't have cork blocks, your foam blocks are fine. You can also use a stack of books if needed, or your water bottle will even come in handy here. So we'll put those at the top of the mat so we don't have to go looking and searching for them later on in practice. And then if you would like extra cushioning for the knees or the body, I've got a blanket here, so you can grab a blanket as well. And let's unfold the blanket and you can place it just along the mat where your knees would rest. But for now, let's get started by laying down on our backs. Just gonna remove my glasses here, good. So laying down on your back, allow the shoulders to come in so the heart is lifted. The legs can be long, or perhaps today you have a bend in the knees, and you let your knees drape towards one another, coming more into a constructive resting leg position. Hands can be down by the sides of the body, or perhaps today you have one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. If it feels good for you, let's close down the eyes and begin to turn inward. Our practice today is all about taking what we need and leaving the rest behind. You know your body better than anyone. And so I invite you and I encourage you at any moment to take what you need and not worry about anything in between. Leave it all behind. That means if you need to come back into Shavasana, you come here and rest. If you want to skip out in one of our flows, you can skip it out, take child's pose, Shavasana, and water whenever you need to. So as we begin to settle in, I invite you to notice how the body is feeling. Noticing all the places in the body that feel good. But also maybe bringing our awareness to places in the body that maybe you're feeling tight, achy, sore. Bringing your awareness to your emotional body, asking, how am I feeling, without judging, just noticing, observing. And asking, how can I support myself in practice today? And bringing the awareness now to the breath. As you inhale, let the belly rise. Let the belly fill up and expand. On the exhale, let the belly empty. Let it start to contract towards the back of the spine. This time as you inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale 4, 3, 2. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale 4, 3, 2. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Continue breathing in that pattern. Inhaling 4, exhaling 6. Helping us to arrive in our space, to calm our central nervous system, and to allow us to be present here in our bodies, in our practice. A breath that you can return to anytime you need to throughout our practice today. And the next time you've exhaled completely, let go of the counting of the breath. Just allow the breath to breathe itself. It knows what to do. And if it's in your practice, go ahead and set your own intention or borrow mine. I will take what I need in practice and leave the rest behind. And without picking up your head or your neck, let's gently turn our gaze over to the right. Just noticing all the little muscles in our neck, how they're feeling. On our inhale, return the head and neck to center. And on the exhale, without picking up your head or your neck, turn your gaze now over to the left shoulder. Inhaling, returning to center. We'll do that one more time. Exhale, turn your gaze now to the right. Inhale and return to center. And exhale, turn your gaze now to the left. Inhale, return to center. And on the exhale, we stay. We keep the gaze up towards the ceiling, nice and soft. Inhale, slide the right leg towards you, the right side of the foot. On the exhale, plant the right foot into the mat. Inhaling, sliding the left leg, the left side of the foot towards you. And on the exhale, plant the foot into the ground. You can keep your hands down by the sides, or maybe you want to rest them on the low abdomen. Spine and pelvis and hips are nice and neutral here. Feet are about hip width distanced and parallel. On your inhale, slowly draw your pubic bone towards your nose so you're flattening out your back. On the exhale, tilt your tailbone, creating a little bit of space between your back and the floor. Inhaling, pubic bone towards your nose, flattening out your back. And exhale, tilt the tailbone. One more time, inhaling, drawing the pubic bone towards your nose. And on the exhale, tilt the tailbone in the opposite direction. Inhale, come back to a neutral pelvis, meaning the pelvis and the hips aren't working, they're just resting. And then slowly hug the right knee into your chest. Inhale the left leg all the way up towards the sky, shoulders in. See if you can draw the right knee in a little bit more. Now, if you're finding this is a little bit of a stretch or a reach, a strap is okay to use here on the back of the right thigh. Also, as you hug the right knee in, you can place the strap over the thigh or over the top of the shin as well. And begin to point and flex the left toes. Maybe you start to rotate the left ankle and then rotate it in the opposite direction. Inhale, press the left heel away from you. On the exhale, slower than you want to. Let's start to lower the left leg all the way down to the mat. Nice and slow here as you hug the right knee in. Eventually the left leg will find the earth. You can keep the left leg long here, or perhaps you go back to a bend in the left knee, planting the left foot into the ground. Take a nice deep breath in, and on the exhale, we'll stay. Take another breath in and out. Okay, let's hug the left knee now into the chest. Bring your interlaced fingers or your strap towards the left shin and extend the right leg up to the ceiling. Shoulders readjusting in so the heart lifts, and then begin to point and flex the right toes. Rotating through the right ankle and the other way. Inhale, press the right heel away from you. On the exhale, hug the left knee in and slowly begin to lower the right leg down to the mat. And eventually the right leg is long, resting on the earth, or perhaps you have a bend into the right knee, planting the right foot into the ground. Deep breath in. On the exhale, hug the left knee in towards the chest. Deep breath in again. Deep breath out. Good. Let's hug both knees now into our chest. Gently rock here side to side, massaging the pelvis, the spine, the back of the hips. And then if it feels okay for you, let's start to draw some circles. You can interpret these circles any way you want. Maybe you're drawing circles with the knees to the ceiling, or you're opening through the hips a little bit, getting into the hip flexors. Noticing how the body feels here, and then switch directions. Hug the knees back into your chest. Let's roll over to your favorite side. Use your arm as your pillow for support. And then when you're ready, we'll use the bottom arm as we press up onto our hands and our knees, meeting in a tabletop-like position. Now here's where you can go ahead and add in that additional support with the blanket underneath the knees if you would like. Otherwise, let's come forward here and have the wrists in alignment with the shoulders, knees about hip-width distanced and parallel. Drop the hips over to the right as you gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, drop the hips now to the left as you gaze over the right shoulder. You get to control how far you go here. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, hips to the right. Gaze over the left shoulder. Inhaling to center. Exhaling, hips to the left. Gaze over the right shoulder. We'll do this one more time. Inhale to center. Exhale, hips to the right. Inhaling to center. And exhale, hips to the left. Inhale, come back to center, drop the belly, look up. You get to decide how far you go here. Maybe you go about 30% of the way. Maybe you go about 60% of the way. Good. Stay here for another breath. And on your exhale, slowly round. Press the earth away from you. Tuck your chin towards your chest. You get to decide how far you go here. Round through the shoulders. Take another breath in and out. Good. Now we'll flow through our cat-cow here. Inhale, drop the belly. Look up, soften through the collarbone. Exhale, round. Press the earth away from you. Tuck your chin to your chest. Inhaling forward, dropping the belly, looking up. And exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale and round. Press the earth away from you. Inhale and come back to center. Let's lift the left knee up off of the mat, open it towards the left side of the room, and start to draw about 3 or 4 big circles here, lubricating your femur directly into your hip. You get to decide here as well how big your circles are. Once you've circled about 3 or 4 in one direction, switch directions. And then slowly release. Let the left knee come down to meet the right knee. When you're ready, pick up the right knee, open it to the right side of the room. Draw your 3 or 4 big circles here, or small circles, depending on how body is feeling. And then switch out your direction of their circles here. Good. Return back to center and take the hips side to side here. Hips to the right, gaze over the left shoulder, then hips to the left, gaze over the right shoulder. Come back to center. Let's walk the hands forward here. Start to spread the fingertips wide. And then clawing at your mat with your fingertips, creating this hasta bandha with the hands. Play around with the direction of the shoulders. Maybe externally rotate the top arms, internally rotate the bottom arms, or maybe you switch that out. See what feels good in the back of the shoulders, the arms. Curl the toes under. And lift the knees, let them hover maybe ½ an inch or an inch. Hug the belly in towards the spine, not so much so that you stopped breathing. And then slowly start to send the sit bones up towards the sky and then straighten out your legs.
finding your downward facing dog. Paddle it out, walking your dog a little bit here. And then bend both of the knees. Take your gaze forward. Start to walk towards your hands, coming into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on shins or maybe on the upper thigh. The spine is nice and long here. The side body is long. Take another full breath in. Full breath out. Take another breath in. And on the exhale, go back to a forward fold. Good. Maybe you take a block and bring the block underneath the hands as you forward fold. Maybe you have a little bend through the knees. Straighten out the right leg, bend into the left knee. As you inhale, peel the right arm all the way up towards the sky. Take your gaze with you. And on the exhale, slowly release, let it go. Straighten out your left leg, bend into your right knee. Inhale and peel your left arm up towards the sky. And on the exhale, forward fold. If you've got the block there in front of you, slowly release, place it to the side. And we'll rise up one vertebrae at a time, almost like you're a rag doll, slowly coming up into a standing position. Your head and your neck will come up last. As you arrive here in our Tadasana pose, have your feet a comfortable distance for you. Lift up the toes, plant the toes back into the ground. Take the thighs in, back and apart, pelvis and hips. Gently know what to do here. Hands down by your sides, palms facing out, externally rotating the shoulders here. Take a full breath in, crown points up to the sky, and a full breath out. Inhale, let's reach the fingertips all the way up towards the ceiling. On the exhale, bend your knees and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, side body is nice and long. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And on the exhale, let's fold. Plant your hands, step back into a plank position. Perhaps you lower the knees down, untuck the toes, take a big breath in if you're with me here. On the exhale, slowly lower everything all the way down to the mat. Elbows drawn in, wrists in line with the shoulders. Let's roll the shoulders back a little bit here. Tops of the toes nice and heavy. Inhale, lift the heart just slightly up off of the ground. On the exhale, lower back down. We'll do that again. Inhale, lifting the heart, tops of the toes heavy. Exhale, lower back down. One more time. Inhale, lifting the heart here. On the exhale, lower back down. We'll press all the way up onto our hands and our knees. Curl the toes under. Send your hips high, downward facing dog. Full breath in and full breath out. Good. Bend your knees, take your gaze forward. Let's travel back to the top of the mat where we fold. Inhale, halfway lift, side body's nice and long here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, let's reach the arms all the way up towards the sky. On the exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Take a full breath in, noticing how we feel, and a full breath out. Inhale, reaching the arms all the way up. On the exhale, forward fold. Enjoy your journey down towards the feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Good. This time on the exhale, plant your hands or slide the blocks underneath your hands. We'll step the left leg back, tap down onto the left knee and untuck your toes. Draw the right hip back so the left hip comes forward. Good. Inhale and reach the right arm only up towards the sky. So you can see that I've adjusted my blocks out of the way. You can have a block underneath the left hand as you wrap that left side under so the right side opens. Or if it feels okay for you, maybe you come up onto your fist. And then if it serves you, let's reach to the top of the mat and stretch. Full breath in. And on the exhale, let's touch the earth.
Inhale, reach both of the arms now all the way up towards the ceiling. Keep having the action of drawing your right hip back so the left hip comes forward. Clasp a hold of the left wrist now as you gently reach to the right. Again, you are listening to your body. You're taking what you need and leaving the rest behind. So maybe it's just a gentle nudge to the right side of the room, or maybe you've got a little bit more of a stretch. Breathing into the left side of the body here. Inhale, return to center, reach the arms all the way up. On the exhale, lift the heart towards the sky. Take your gaze all the way up. Big breath in. Maybe you curl back a little bit more, opening the heart, or perhaps we stay. Breathing here for another round of breath. Inhale, return to center. On the exhale, take the hands down to frame the right foot. Let's curl the left toes under, lift the left leg, and hop that back foot forward about an inch or two, maybe more, tapping down the heel. Here's where the blocks might come in handy again. You can have them starting on the highest level or the lowest level. Straighten out your right leg, draw the right hip back, let the left thigh come in, back and apart. Inhale, halfway lift here. On the exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and stay. If you've got your hands on the blocks, perhaps you lower them a little bit or keep the height, letting the blocks support us in our pose here. Maybe the hands can touch the earth without the blocks. That's okay too. Full breath in and full breath out. Slowly begin to bend into your right knee. You might have to adjust the back foot back a little bit or forward. Bending through that right knee, draw the right hip back, left hip will come forward. Inhale, reach the fingertips up to the sky, Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Breathing here for another round of breath. Good. Full breath in. On the exhale, bring the hands down to frame the right foot. Let's lunge that left leg all the way back and step the right leg back to our plank. You can decide if you stay in a high plank here, or perhaps you lower down onto the knees. Take a full breath in, find length through the spine. On the exhale, lower everything down to the mat, to the earth. Wrists in line with the shoulders, elbows drawn in. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, lift your heart any amount that serves you. Maybe you come up a little bit higher, a baby cobra, or maybe you lift the chest a little bit more. On the exhale, go back to your hands and your knees, your tabletop leg position. Curl the toes under, send the hips high, downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Bend your knees, take your gaze forward, and come back to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Side body is nice and long. On the exhale, forward fold. Step the right leg back. Lower the knee down onto the mat. Untuck toes. Left hip comes back. Right hip forward. Slide the blocks under your hands if you'd like, or come up onto the right fist. Inhale. Reach the left arm up to the sky. Take your gaze with you. And on your exhale, if it serves, you can reach to the top of the mat and stretch the body. Big breath in. On the exhale, we let it go. Inhale, reach both of the arms up. On the exhale, draw the left hip back. Right hip comes forward. Clasp a hold of the right wrist this time as you reach to the left side of the room, deciding how far of a stretch you go here. Taking what you need, leaving the rest behind. Good, nicely done. Inhale, return to center. On the exhale, both fingertips reach up to the sky. Open up the heart, turn your gaze up to the ceiling a little bit more. And then if it feels good in your body, curl back a little bit more. Open up the heart. Remember, it's okay to stay back at center. Full breath in. On the exhale, touch the mat. Both hands frame the left foot. Curl the right toes under. Lift the right leg. Step that foot forward an inch or two, maybe more. Maybe find the blocks underneath the hands. Straighten out the left leg. Draw the left hip back so the right hip comes forward. You got it. Inhale, halfway lift to our pyramid pose here. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Decide what feels good in your body. Maybe you lower the blocks. Maybe you keep them high.
Maybe today you have a little micro bend through the front knee or the back knee. What feels good in your body? See if you can draw the nose towards the knee for another breath. Inhale, let's bend into the left knee. Reach the arms all the way up. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1 here. Left hip back, right hip forward. Breathing in here. Full breath in. On the exhale, let's bring the hands down to frame the left foot. Lunge the right leg all the way back and step the left leg back as well. Find a nice plank, whether you're in a high plank or in a low plank. Take a big breath in, find length. On the exhale, lower chest, belly, all the way down. Shoulders back. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the heart, any amount that serves you. And on the exhale, you can go back through your hands and your knees. Curl the toes under, send the hips high, downward dog. Full breath in, full breath out. Bend your knees, take your gaze forward, travel back to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, reach the fingertips all the way up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Take your feet a comfortable distance for you. So have them maybe hip width distance, maybe outside of hip width distance. Lift the toes. Plant each toe back down to the ground. Thighs in, back and apart. Pelvis and hips know what to do here. Inhale, reach the arms up. On the exhale, bend your knees, have a seat. Chair pose, Utkatasana. You get to decide where your chair pose is. You can have a baby chair pose this morning, a mama bear pose, chair pose, or papa bear. Just press into the 3 points of the feet, big toe mound, baby toe mound, the backs of the heels. Lift the heart, take another breath in and another breath out. Take a full breath in. On the exhale, forward fold, hands come down towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Let's step the left leg back. This time, we'll keep the back leg lifted. If at any point you need to lower down the knee, that's okay too. Right hip back, left hip forward. Inhale, reach the right arm up to the sky, coming into a high lunge twist here. If it serves you, reach to the top of the mat. Full breath in, full breath out. Take another breath in. On the exhale, right fingertips come down. Inhale, reach both of the arms now up to the sky. Lift the back thighs, scoop the tailbone a little bit here. Clasp a hold of the left wrist as you reach over to the right, deciding how much of a reach here. Inhale, return to center. On the exhale, tap down the left heel. Open up the arms. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Front knee should track around the second or the third toe. Both arms equally parallel. Turn your gaze to the front of the mat. Let it be soft. Take another breath in. On the exhale, we can slide the left forearm to start parallel to the back body. Reverse the front palm, slowly curl back, open up the heart. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you slide the left hand down the back of the left thigh. Inhale, pardon me, return to center. On the exhale, touch the earth. Unplug that back foot, the left foot, step back into your plank, whether you're in a high plank or a low plank. Take a full breath in. Exhale, lower to the earth. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Gonna take another breath in, another breath out. Bend your knees, take your gaze forward, find the top of the mat and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Take another breath in, bring the feet about hip width distance and parallel, whatever is comfortable for you. Inhale, reach the arms up. On the exhale, find your chair pose, Utkatasana. Lift the heart towards the ceiling. Send the weight to the back of the heels. Take another breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. You're doing amazing. On the exhale, forward fold. Let's do that again. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. This time, step the right leg back. So it's in a nice high lunge, or depending on the body, a low lunge. Bend through the left knee. Draw the left hip back. Inhale, left fingertips, reach up to the sky. And if it serves you, reach to the top of the mat and stretch. On your next exhale, touch the earth. Inhale, reach both of the arms all the way up, coming into your high crescent lunge. Left hip back, right hip forward. Let's lift the back thigh here. Clasp a hold of the right wrist as you reach to the left. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, tap down the right heel. Open up the arms. Warrior two arms, warrior two legs. Take a moment here as you bend through the front knee. Right thigh in, back and apart. Reach through all 10 fingers. Make sure one's not flying higher than the other. Slide the right forearm parallel to the back body to start. Reverse the front palm. Slowly curl back. Open the heart. You can decide to stay here, or maybe you slide the right hand down the back of the thigh. Beautiful. Inhale, return to center. Exhale, touch the earth. Unplug the back foot, step back into your plank. Full breath in. On the exhale, lower to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the heart. And on your exhale, find your downward facing dog. Let's take an extra breath here. Feel your heart racing, working for you. Can you find your breath? Maybe now's a good time to reintroduce our extended exhales. Can you let the exhales be longer than the inhales? Bend your knees, take your gaze forward. We'll find the top of the mat here. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Moving through one more flow here before we cool it down. Find what feels good once again in your feet. So for me, that's hip width distanced and parallel, but it might look and feel a little different for you. Lift the toes and place the toes back down into the ground. Let's take the hands on the hips. Transfer and shift the weight over to the right leg. So imagine that you're hugging skin to muscle, muscle to bone. The right hip stays in alignment with the knee and the ankle. Lift the left heel up off the earth. Draw your knee into your chest and then open the left knee to the side, coming into a one-legged Tadasana. Take a breath in. On the exhale, we'll plant the foot, maybe on the inner ankle, maybe up the shin, or maybe you actively pick up the foot. Place it on the inner thigh, pressing foot into leg, leg into foot. And then imagine at the center of the left knee is a magnet and it's drawing you down towards the earth, finding stability here. Good. Maybe the hands stay at the hips. Maybe you bring your hands to the heart. Maybe you reach your tree branches up to the sky. Full breath in, full breath out. You're doing so good. Inhale and hug the left knee in towards your chest. Keep the arms wherever they are, whether they're at the hips, the heart center, or up to the sky. On the exhale, lunge the left leg all the way back, coming back into a high lunge. You can heel toe the front foot out a little bit, making your stance a little wider. Full breath in. On the exhale, hands come down to frame the right foot. Lower the left knee, untuck the toes. Walk your hands towards the back of the mat. As you straighten out the right leg, flex toes to nose. Here's where you might add your blocks underneath your hands once again. Continue having the action of right hip back, left hip forward. See if the pinky toe can move up towards the sky. And we're not sitting on the back of the heel here, so maybe you lift the chest off the heart. Full breath in and out. On your next inhale, walk the hands forward, bend back into the right knee. Curl the left toes under, lift the left leg, and step back into a plank position. Beautiful. Take a full breath in. On the exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, lift the chest off the heart. Any amount that serves you. Amazing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Notice your internal heat has kicked up a little bit here. Bend your knees, take your gaze forward, find the top of the mat so we can do that on the other side of the body. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, reaching the arms all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Take a moment here. If you need a sip of water, have a sip of water. Meeting in our Tadasana pose, our mountain pose. Feet hip width distance and parallel. Lift your toes. Take your time setting up here. Your feet are the foundation of the pose. Plant your toes back into the mat. Shifting our weight this time to the left leg. Let's take the hands to the hips to start. Keeping the hip in alignment with the knee, the ankle, hugging skin to muscle, muscle to bone. Feel the left leg start to stabilize here as you hug the right knee in. One-legged Tadasana. Open the knee to the right. And when you're ready, actively pick up the foot or plant it along the ankle, the shin, or the upper thigh. Pressing leg into foot, foot into leg. Decide what feels good. Now, just because you did something one way on the other side of the body does not mean it has to look and feel the same way here. So take what you need here, leave the rest behind. Wherever your tree branches are and wherever you are, can you find your breath? Beautiful. When you're ready, hug the right knee in. And lunge it all the way back for a high lunge. You can heel toe that left foot out, left hip back, right hip forward. Full breath in. On the exhale, hands come down to the mat. Bring the right knee down. Untuck your toes now and walk your hands towards the back of the mat. Maybe we find the blocks here once again. Coming into half splits. Flexing toes towards nose. Left hip back, right hip forward. Lift the heart. Breathe in. Breathe out. So good. Breathe in. Breathe out. And when you're ready, walk the hands forward. Bend into the left knee. Let the hands frame the left foot. Curl the right toes under. Lift the right leg. Step back into one final flow. Moving at your pace, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Good. Breathing in and out. Inhale forward, hands and knees. On the exhale, let the big toe mounds touch. Knees go wide apart. Send the sit bones towards the back of the heels. Melt the heart forward. Child's pose, Balasana. There are a few options in your child's pose. You can do exactly as we are, or maybe you find your blanket and place it where your heels are, bringing the blanket a little bit more closer towards you. You can also use the blanket underneath the knees, or you can draw the knees closer together, melt the heart forward. You can also give the arms and the shoulders a break by reaching the hands towards the back of the mat. Wherever you have landed, see if you can extend the exhales. Let the exhales be longer than the inhales. We'll take 2 more breaths. As you're ready, slowly come forward to your tabletop position. Swing the legs to the left side of the mat. Have a seat. All right, swing the legs now out in front of you, preparing ourselves to cool our body down. And bring your feet towards the top of the mat. We're going to work just a little bit to get to the back of the mat here. If you've got any props in the way, slide them away. Pardon me. Imagine that there's a sandbag on the tops of the feet, or somebody sitting on your feet, just like we did when we were kids. Send the arms out in front of you. The feet will not leave the mat. Take a full breath in. On the exhale, we'll just lower vertebrae by vertebrae. Slowly coming down onto the mat.
spine eventually finds its way down, the head and the neck, the arms. And then from here, walk the shoulders in, hug the knees into your chest. Give yourself a well-deserved hug. You can rock side to side, or you can stay in stillness, whatever serves you. And as you're ready, plant the feet into the mat. About hip width distance, maybe a little wider for you, maybe a little shorter. Sliding the arms now out beside you into maybe robot or cactus arms. Maybe you have them more like a T, or if you prefer, you can use them as a little bit of a pillow here to support the head and the neck. Wherever you are, let's lift the hips just slightly off the earth. Send the hips now over to the left side of the room and drop your knees down over to the right. Coming into a supine twist here. You can keep the gaze forward, or maybe you turn the gaze over the left shoulder. If you want a little bit more, flex the bottom foot, your right foot, and place it just above the knee. Close down the eyes or soften your gaze. Really slowing things down here. Breathing in and out through the nose. And if your bottom foot is flexed above the top knee, let it go. Inhale everything back to center, head and neck. Plant the feet, reset the pelvis and the hips. As you're ready, lift the hips one more time. Send them over to the right side of the room as you drop the knees now to the left. Taking what you need here, maybe you gaze over the right shoulder. Maybe you flex the left foot, place it just above the right knee. Going back to your breath. Inhale, return to center, releasing the foot if it was flexed above the knee. My apologies, I should have asked you to grab a hold of your block. So if you've got your block, come up for a moment, grab your block, plant the feet into the ground, and you have a multitude of layers on the block. So we've got the flattest level here, and then the second level. I would suggest just avoiding the top level today because this is more of a cool down purpose. Coming into a supported bridge pose. Inhale, lift the pelvis and the hips. Slide the block underneath where the sacrum is, and then let the pelvis and the hips come down onto the block. So whether you have the first layer or the second, or maybe you get to one and you want to switch it to the other halfway through, that's okay too. And take the hands wherever they want to land, maybe down by the sides. Maybe it feels good today if the arms are reaching above the head. Again, you can rest one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Allowing the support from underneath us for us to just settle in a little bit more. Giving our hearts a break by reversing our blood flow. Your heart just worked so hard for you in practice today.
Pressing into the points of the feet here, big toe mound, baby toe mound, backs of the heels. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body. Let's inhale, lift the pelvis and the hips, release the block. Keep the pelvis and the hips high for an extra breath. On the exhale, start to lower vertebrae by vertebrae. So you're giving yourself a little soothing massage here through the spine. Eventually, the spine finds the ground. Hug the knees into the chest. You can stay here or you can start to reach for the outer edges of your feet, taking the feet up towards the sky. Nanda Balasana, happy baby. Pressing hands into feet, feet into hands, and then root down through the back of the tailbone. You can stay still, or maybe you have that rocking sensation side to side here. Beautiful. And we'll make our way now into our most important pose of our practice, our Shavasana. Feel free to use any of your props you've got. If you'd like to feel a little more like you're in a hammock, slide the blocks underneath the shins. Might require you to come up and effort a little bit here. If you've got your blanket, you can cover your body with the blanket, or maybe you slide the blanket underneath the head and start to contour it around the head and the neck so you feel more additional support. Finding what feels good for you and your body. And remember, there is no right or wrong way. It's just what's good for you. And if it feels okay, let's close down our eyes or keep the gaze soft. And notice how the body is feeling. Allowing the back of the body to become heavy. And the front of the body light. Take a nice long, slow breath in through the nose. And an open sigh out through the mouth on the exhale. Allowing yourself this time of comfort, of stillness. And rest.
And slowly begin to deepen the breath. Wiggling fingers and toes. And stretching the body in any way it would like to stretch. And hug your knees into your chest as you gently roll to your favorite side of the body, where we will pause for several rounds of breath. Thanking yourself for your practice. And whenever you're ready, we'll slowly make our way into a comfortable seat. Maybe the eyes stay closed, or maybe the gaze is soft. And bringing the hands to the heart if it serves you, and align the head over the heart and the heart over the pelvis. May you continue to take what you need and leave the rest behind throughout the rest of your day and into your week ahead. Thank you so much for joining me in practice.